What's up guys, it's Talon here. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your solo caster performance by analyzing top EU pro BadSnipR and how he won the solo cash cup. But before I get into this VOD for you guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code TALON.FN in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen, we have BadSnipR's POV. This is going to be a VOD view of a 16 kill win. Let's just jump right in. He's landed Tilted Tower, so we know this is going to be a W King game. You're going to see him early on do a good job of picking very intelligent fights. You're not going to see him take a lot of 50-50s. You're going to see him just third party a lot. Now, I don't know why the sound isn't particularly working there. All you can hear is the pepper, but he gets a fry on that particular opponent. Sprays through easily. And this is why I hate replay mode. Christ. Just play the fuck. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have BadSnipR's POV. This is going to be a VOD review of a 16 kill win. Obviously we're landing tilted, so we're going to be W King here. And early on what you're going to see BadSnipR do that's really good is he's going to take a lot of just easy free fights. He's going to be the third partier. He's not going to be the one initiating a lot of these solo one-on-one fights. Now I don't know why the sound is like that, but he gets a fry on this particular opponent. We have a replay freeze. Good, sprays through with the opponent right here. Now sits here with good recognition of this wall. We get the piece control. Now what you see in this situation, because the opponent is weak, usually see a lot safer if the opponent's healthier, but we just 50-50 because we have such significant health advantage, so it's not a true 50-50. We have good loot here, and we already know this opponent was fighting someone. It's Tilted Towers, not a lot of people are going to have mats. He just sits there in a right-hand peek and gets a free cleanup. Let's jump into the next portion here. We're going to see him just kind of rotate out with a car. And it's going to be the same exact deal that we saw in the first one. He's going to roll up onto a fight right here. Now, he doesn't have any information other than the fact that he's third-partying. We're going to get here, try to cut him off. And the opponent's so weak, he just sprays through. Now, I thought was super interesting here, which kind of tells the game plan here, is okay, we're padding in early zones. That means we are focusing all of our resources to W King. And a good assumption to push this opponent, why this opponent is spidering away, what is he more than likely? He's more than likely weak. And that's exactly what it is. And you're going to see BadSnipR is going to do a good job here of cutting off angles so he can't escape too well. Look at this. In case the opponent runs up, he's going to run right into free piece control. Good reload management as well before jumping on the wall. Now, he does a good job of shooting at the Spider-Man, realizing, and this is what you can do a ton of the time. If you see anybody kneeling, taking shield in front of you, spray your stinger at him. It's going to usually result in a free elimination, and that's exactly what ends up happening here. Now, this next one, he takes a solo fight, but as you see, he's not getting third-partied a ton because he's finishing these fights incredibly fast, but it's because he's taking smart fights. Now, right here, we see a lot of good first chip damage, about 50, 60, 70. He's trying to pressure him off, preventing him from getting a big pot off. The opponent's going to have splashes. This fight's going to take a little bit longer than the previous two. Does a full cycle in. Now, this is really smart right here. Now, something I always want to talk about here that I see a lot of people just not do that are lower level is when you are on someone's wall, it's honestly better to have cones out because one, it's just the ramp, you can get piece control, but this way it just makes it, turns it 50-50. Good movement right here too. Takes it and then just goes out the way. Spraying through. Cutting off an angle again. Really good job. Gets him as his opponent phases through, and now it's just time to finish. Same thing, we cut off angles. Now the opponent's kind of stuck between here and the tree. And he just finishes with an MK. Good spray through. Alright, let's just kind of fast forward here to this next portion. He gets into this very long, drawn-out fight in mid-game over someone who got a llama. And this is just a good example of, like, patience. I'm not even going to show most of the first half of the fight because it takes a good while. Now, you see an opponent just runs right at him. He does a good job of having an escape route so he doesn't get just full stingered. But he's not being overzealous here. He has almost all his angles protected, so he doesn't have to worry about third parties here. He knows there's an opponent on the mountain. Takes the wall. Now, the opponent's going to be very annoying, placing armored walls. And fighting people like this is the absolute worst. You got to just keep your composure. You know, you get a full damage pellet shot, and it hits for like 40. Notice, not even worry about taking the wall, just wanting to have his gun out. And then the opponent, again, armored walls off. Can't exploit in. Now, right here, this is pretty awkward angled. He's going to just try to shoot and take it. I'm not sure if he did or not, but he got out of there immediately. Now that third party becomes a factor. Sitting on a right hand right here. Playing more on the wall. Look at this. This is really smart. Cover up all angles just to make sure. And I think he's finally going to do... He's going to push in simply here. He hears that fry off shield. He's going to get in there, finish quickly, and look where he is. He is between, he is essentially sandwiching this player, and that's because he covered his angle. The other player did not. Gets a free elimination, kind of with a little assist from the opponent on top. He gets Spider-Man, I believe, as well here. Yep, and this is going to allow him to kind of continue this W King fest that he's on. This fight is also going to take a decent amount of time. And this kind of just shows somewhat the patience you have to have sometimes when you're in these solos cash cups. Covering off all angles again, minor thing, but very, very important, especially if you don't want to have all your utility burned through quickly. Now this opponent makes a poor decision to disengage without building. He just tries sliding down. BadSnipR is going to get an easy fry. Look at the off shield. Now he's going to eat a little bit of bullets from that guy, but he's off a pepper, so he's going to be incredibly fast. I love this. Look, he realizes that the building is not complete on this side, so look where he actually tries to go. He tries to get to that side, but unfortunately not able to do it. Decides to splash. A little bit risky with to go for that at that range, but makes it work. Now he's got to realize the opponent's at full HP. Right hand peek. Good bleed through damage. Crosshair placement. Hits for a little bit. And then he does a great job of clicks exploiting. He just misses the pump shot. But trusting his aim in the box. A little bit poor reload management. Not the most clean engagement. But he could get the job done. And then he just timed it perfectly with the reset. That's when he decided to go. You can really catch a lot of people off guard because they usually feel like they're holding it. And then it just goes right through. Now, he catches someone just looking absolutely lost. It's going to be a really important pickup, right? You hear this opponent having chili chugs. But more than likely he's going to use most of them. You want to be careful here. Don't want to get one pumped. And the opponent unfortunately used all the chili chugs. Now I've got to feel pretty confident against, you know, a heavy when you're full HP. And then we're just going to kind of, he does a nice little job of just flying around the map and keying everybody in this little midsection part, avoiding all these third parties. Look at all these people all around him. Little chip damage to start. Right now, this is one of the best things you can do. Come for the bottom. This is why, if you're that opponent, you need to be placing a cone in your box. Because if anyone can do this at any time, this is so hard to defend. You want 2 layers of protection all time possible. Good recognition, too, from BadSnipR. They're placing that back wall to keep him trapped in there. And again, coming from the bottom is one of the best things you can do in any meta. It's so hard to defend. That's why you always want some sort of piece control in your box when you're on the defensive, especially if people are coming underneath you. Now he's pushing this particular opponent with 9 eliminations. Notice how he always has some form of protection right here, using the ramp as kind of right-hand peek. He sits here hoping that the opponent may be edited out. Doesn't happen. Right-hand peek. Hits him for a little bit. I didn't see how much exactly for. Good pressure. He's just not cycling, not 50-50 in. Gets the cone in. Right-hand peek. And we don't see what happens. I think someone either flies on him at the same time. I'm doing a good job of using the mats he just got back to essentially create some space and stave off this third party. The opponent actually ends up Spider-Manning away. So we move on to the next portion. Finds a bunch of old loot. I was going to key this particular opponent, but it's actually not going to go as quickly again as some of these other ones. Armored wall. Again, frustrating. He's in a bad spot because he's surrounded by a bunch of elevation, so that's why I think he kind of slows the pace, and you see him kind of take a more of just conservative approach in terms of pushing this particular opponent. He plays his angles more. He plays more with his stinger to kind of get piece control. Notice how he covers off any angle to his right there as well. This is just very technical and safe. He doesn't want to waste any more of his utility from third parties, because it just makes getting this elimination a lot more difficult. He knows exactly where he is. Notice how the pace has just kind of changed too. Maybe also due to the fact he only has 84 builds. Opponent actually does a good job of kind of picking off BadSnipR right there. But BadSmart quick. Doesn't get that back, so he, again, 2 layers of protection. Good right-hand peek on that edit. And a good job of retaking it. Things could be a little bit scuffed. Hits him again for a little bit. And again, not getting in, fully committing. Now, once he thinks, the opponent thinks he's safe. Perfect. Does a fantastic job of reckoning where that opponent's going. He takes that wall, and then he makes sure to get the piece control to finish it. And I loved how methodical that was. You've seen a lot of him just playing super aggressive, but nothing ever just screams just like brain dead. It was just very, very slow, controlled, stave off any third parties. And that's exactly what he ends up doing there. He's going to heal up here real quick. I believe he's going to launch pad, if I remember correctly. Nope, he's going to spider on this opponent. Catches him in midair. Good recognition, and this is just mechanics. Jumps to the side quickly. That's another free Elam. Now, I like what he does here, too. He realizes his opponent's kind of holding him at an angle. He takes the MK, looks for some shots. There's about 40 to 50, about an even trade. He goes, okay, never mind. Forget about that. I'm just going to re-heal. Now, this guy, he absolutely bullies. I'm not even going to lie. He fries him. He pushes onto him. He's going to piece him up multiple times, just make him look lost. Just the shots aren't there. Now, I was a little bit surprised at this because it's such a high-tick zone. This person's running towards it. He does have splashes, but to 2. Gets third party for the mountain. He takes a decent amount of storm. Yeah, it takes about 4, 5, 8 ticks. Now, he gets into zone finally. Spraying through with the SMG, recognizes the opponent only has really one choice to go where he is. Gets it right here. Cone, the opponent runs back. He does a good job, the opponent actually does a good job of finding a safe place, but Sniper gets that cone off, misses a shot. Look at all the piece control in the world. He kind of bullies that kid, but again, you just see the recognition that opponent is more likely going to go out to that right, so he just cuts him off. He sprays through, gets another cone down. The opponent actually makes a pretty decent play of running back very quickly away, but then Sniper recognizing that as well, gets the cone off, and the opponent just ends up looking very, very lost. Now, not a crazy endgame pop-off. He's done most of his keying in mid-game. He's going to get 3 eliminations, but I like this pad right here. Goes right to height. Now this is something, if you're going to be challenging high ground, you need to make sure that you're protected when you're spraying, because that's going to end up happening. People just kind of try to shoot him out the entire time, but he can easily reconnect with no real issue here. Good job of reloading before he jumps down. A minor thing, but very important. Hits it for 28, cracks. He just takes whatever's left of the refresh instead. But because the opponent's so weak, the opponent actually just gives up high ground here, as you see. He just timed that very well as to when that fight was finished. Could have maybe hit a little bit harder shot, would have finished that fight sooner. And I was a little bit surprised. I felt like he was pretty passive. I felt like he should have maybe just played a little more pressure on all these people down below him, especially with how many Spider-Mans are left. Now he just shoots him out right there. He gets a free kill. You hear how many Spider-Mans are left, so you just kind of wanted to. I feel like more and more pressure would have been better, and with him only being in wood. And then the person again, I don't know. That's a good peek. It just doesn't work out. The opponent he's fighting is actually pretty solid. He decides to almost give it up. Now, he does have 5 splashes. He tried to break him out there. Good angle. Taking zone. But he realizes he's high up. He looks up before he pads. Constant thing. And then immediately goes underneath him so he can't get fried, right? Opponent is also going to pad. He actually does a conserve pad to get ahead. Now this is crazy right here. Blocks him off of the wall. Side reset, cracks. Oh my goodness. Fantastic use of piece control. He eats a big shot. Like I said, the guy that he's fighting here is actually a pretty solid player, but not unfortunately able to get off any of his heals really. So now the book is still going to be at advantage. 15, 16 kills right there. The opponent super weak. See, he didn't have any time to pop those shields. Just constant pressure. He did a good job of evading the Spider-Man. I truly think the only issue that there wasn't enough pressure with how many people had Spider-Man. You really just wanted to keep griefing these people, not allowing them to use that Spider-Man, not making them feel comfortable, and maybe staying ahead a little bit more because it was a little bit dicey towards the end there. He eats a big shot, but he just clutches up. Fortunately for him, that opponent not being too strong. Just overall, we just saw the one early. We saw 4 free kills just by third partying and timing things well. Yes, you know, you can't always, you know, guess the health, but he had health advantage in almost all of those fights. And then when you saw the fights where he was kind of surrounded by a lot of particular people, he slowed the pace down, just kind of dragged it out, went for angles, went and box fighted. So he didn't take a significant, he only, I think, maybe 8, I would say, over around 100 damage with those third party shots. And this allowed him to keep that utility and allowed him to keep on going, keep on fragging, and that is why he was able to win this game, and he consistently did this throughout the Cash Cup, obviously with him winning this particular round. But guys, that is going to do it for today's VOD review. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like in this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.